Well, what's up, everybody? The week that we dreaded is finally here. Week 13, the final week of the season, is here. I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. But after the food and festivities comes the last weekend of college football. So, we gotta enjoy it while it's here. Week 12, we had a couple upsets, a couple things we weren't really ready for. Louisville falling to Houston. I didn't see that. I don't think anybody saw that. Houston kind of nosedive all season. They didn't really bounce back, but they definitely came back and showed Louisville who was boss on that one. Ohio State rolls. They're doing just fine. Setting up for a pretty interesting game on Saturday. LSU falls to Florida. Kind of an iffy call on the, let the clock drain as much as they did, and then some bad play calls down at the goal line, and LSU lost at the last second. So, it is what it is. But Florida pulls that one up. Oklahoma goes up to West Virginia in the snow and absolutely hammers the Mountaineers. It wasn't even close. The game wasn't even remotely close at any point of the game. Oklahoma's offense is showing that they're probably one of the best in the country. Now their defense is going to be a cause for concern, especially if they get into the playoff picture. There's a lot of teams in the playoff hunt, Alabama and Ohio State or Michigan, whichever one you take. Even though Michigan, without their quarterback, I think that's the big question mark. They're going to have to stop opponents. Now, Oklahoma hasn't seen a defense like any of these teams right now, so who knows what's going to happen as far as that's concerned. I'm going to brush up on the Heisman real quick. Talk about the conferences and how the conference championships more than likely are going to play out, and then get into week 13. Heisman Trophy winner, even with his loss, Lamar Jackson is still a Heisman Trophy winner. I don't see anybody else beating him. You got Humphries from San Diego State breaking rushing records. It's fine. Your competition level, what Lamar Jackson has done all year, speaks volumes about him. We'll see how he plays against Kentucky. If he can put if he can get up and throw some, 9 touchdowns on the board or whatever the hell it is, it'll really help his cause, especially coming off of that loss against Houston. But as far as I'm concerned, he's the one that gets my Heisman vote, and there's nobody else in the country better than he is as far as an all-around athlete on the field. Okay, conferences. The Big Ten's all over the place as far as being, teams in the top 10. They're stacked. Do I think a lot of them are as good as they're ranking them to be? No, but that's what that is. Obviously, you have Michigan, and before the quarterback went down, I thought Michigan was the only team in the country that actually even had the ability to beat Alabama. Their defense is still solid, but they're getting a quarterback to reload is not an easy task. So I think Michigan's going to have a little bit of an issue. The winner of the Ohio State-Michigan game obviously is going to win the Big Ten. And also they're playing for the playoff berth. The game's at noon. It's at Ohio State. It's a big game. We'll talk a little bit more about that as it comes. The SEC, Alabama, with Auburn losing, no one's going to stop Bama. They're rolling all the way. Okay, they'll be lucky if they got the rivalry game this weekend. But as far as a whole and winning the conference, it's Bama all day, and there's nothing anyone in the SEC is going to be able to do to stop them. Clemson in the ACC, I think, is going to be the one to take that. It's still undecided on who they're going to play, whether it be Virginia Tech or North Carolina. We'll see Saturday as far as those rivalry games pan out. Oklahoma pretty much is shown that it's the best in the Big 12, and that no one's going to be able to compare to them. Are they in the playoff hunt? It's still bound to, we don't know yet. So, we'll just wait and see on that one. And as far as the Pac-12 goes, I still think Washington's the best team there. USC beat them. We got Washington this weekend, and the winner of that game is going to go on to the Pac-12 championship. So that's your conference wrap-up. Let's get into Week 13. All right, Week 13, rivalry week. It's the probably some of the best games of the whole year, just because, spreads, home field, things like spreads and just overall teams, you might as well just throw it out the window. Okay, home field advantage and hate is something that drives these games till the very end, and that's what makes college football so exciting. Okay, starting off Friday, we got Washington State. Now, the winner of this game is obviously going to go on to the Pac-12 championship, but also you got your bragging rights. Okay, Mike Leach against Peterson. It's going to be an interesting matchup. I think, in my thoughts, I think that Browning and company are going to get this one done. It's going to be some points scored, but Washington pulls the upset or the win or whatever it is. Georgia Tech, Saturday. I'm going to run with the Bulldogs. Georgia Tech's all over the place, even though they beat Virginia Tech. They're not. I don't think that they're there. Georgia's got a lot to prove. It's been a roller coaster a year. They came out firing, and they kind of fell off, and they can't figure out what they want to do under the new head coach. Look for them to get this one together and come up with a W. Louisville, Kentucky. Now, I was talking about this earlier. Now, Lamar Jackson coming off that loss to Houston. He's pissed. He's probably, look for this dude to put up some touchdowns. Kentucky's not a slouch team, okay? Even though they might not be ranked in the top 25, they are a good ball club. I think Louisville's going to win this one. Look for Lamar Jackson to put up, some points and really, set his final statement as far as being a Heisman Trophy winner. Ohio State, Michigan. Now, this game is huge right now. Number 2, number 3. The winner goes on to the Big Ten championship, more than likely the playoffs, and so on and so forth. I've picked Michigan to win the Big Ten since about week 7 or week 8, after watching them play. Without that quarterback, it's going to be real tough for Michigan to beat Ohio State. I think the spread's 6.5 or something. It's going to be close. JT Barrett's going to have to play a lot better than he has been, and close one. I'm going to take Ohio State, just because of the quarterback situation in Michigan. Auburn, Alabama, the Iron Bowl. We've seen craziness happen in this game, year after year after year, blah, 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 blah. But, the fact of the matter is that Auburn, was riding high there for a while. I think that Alabama is going to win. I don't think it's going to be a close one. They're just too good. Notre Dame, USC. Back in the day, this game was huge. It was always, a top 10 game, blah, blah, blah. Not this year. USC, big, double digits, put it in the bag. Utah, Colorado. Once again, these teams playing for, Pac-12 power, blah, blah, blah. Utah's going to score some points. I think Colorado's going to come out on top. They've really been a turnaround team this year. No one really talked about Colorado, but here they are, and they're in the top 25. The Gamecocks and the Tigers. Clemson, South Carolina. Now, living in South Carolina for a while, this was easily one of the most hated rivalries I've ever been around. They do not like each other whatsoever, and both teams could go 0 whatever, but as long as they win this game, this is it. This is bragging rights for 365 days till next year, and it doesn't matter what happens after this. South Carolina, they've got their freshman quarterback. I don't think it's going to have any play with that much of a factor. I think Clemson's going to get after them on defense. I think South Carolina's defense is going to hang in there for a little bit, seeing that it's a rivalry game. They're going to be really fired up. But the talent and overload of Clemson is going to prevail, and Clemson should win this ball game. And last but not least, actually I got 2 more. Florida State, Seminoles, Gators, bragging rights of the state of Florida. And, Miami's kind of fallen off of that power wagon this year, and Florida is still trying to discover an offense. I think Florida State is going to be too much for them. I think Rudolph and Francois and D. Cook are going to be too much for Florida. I don't think they're going to be able to handle all 3 of them together. Look, it's an exciting rivalry. Appleby, we'll see how he handles that Florida State defense and which Florida State defense even shows up this time. But I'm going to roll with the Seminoles on this one. And then last but not least, Oregon State. Usually Oregon, they kind of having a rebuilding year this year. They're not as good as they have been. I'm going to take them over the Beavers. I'm going to take them in their the win for their final game. That's week 13. That's rivalry week. College football, this is it. We got some championship week next week, and then after that, it's nothing but bowl season. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. Hope Black Friday shopping isn't too stressful for anybody, and enjoy them leftover turkey and ham sandwiches and ham and eggs and all that other good stuff that everybody else is going to be fixing. And I will see you guys back next week for championship week. Have a wonderful weekend. Peace.